And it's a great pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to a cultural treat, which is Vietnamese coffee.
Café means coffee,
Yep.
and so means milk. In this case, condensed milk.
Yep.
Because we ordered café soda, which is iced,
Yes.
we need some ice. PD, can we have 2 cups of ice, please? We have the same passion, the same goals, the same interests, but we are different variations of people. What can we do? Hi, it's so nice to finally meet you.
Hi Minh, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
Good.
So we were invited here today to enjoy the authentic Vietnamese coffee experience. We are seated at this very nice coffee shop, Café VC. And can you introduce a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So Alec Cameron, Vice-Chancellor of RMIT University, have been since January this year. This is my second visit to Vietnam in this role. It's, I think, at least my 4th visit during my life to Vietnam, and it's a great pleasure to be here. And I'm looking forward to a cultural treat, which is Vietnamese coffee.
So since it's your first time ever, like just sitting down and having authentic Vietnamese coffee, so I'd like to know your usual order back in Melbourne.
Well, back in Melbourne, I would have a thing called a flat white. So which a flat white is an espresso coffee with milk.
How fast do you usually finish it?
Takes me, I don't know, within 5 minutes. It's not, I tend to get a drink of coffee when I want to. Often I will sit down with friends to have it. It's a social experience as well, but I tend to drink it before it goes cold.
So here is the menu. This is what we'll be having. I'll translate this for you. Café means coffee,
Yep.
and so means milk. In this case,
Yep.
condensed milk.
Yep.
And you see 2 variations, da and nam. Da means it's iced, and nam, it's not iced. So
Right.
we usually have cold coffee here. Just all of us drink iced coffee.
Right.
And also we have café đen đá. Đen means black, so this is black iced coffee, and also with nam, it's hot, so iced and hot.
So if I want to choose Café Soda, if that's pronounced correctly?
It's café
Café
sữa
Soda.
đá. Yeah.
Café Soda.
Yeah. PD, can we have 2 café sodas, please? So this is a coffee filter.
Yes.
In here are grounded coffee beans, and this is hot water. It's really hot, so you can see it dripping. This is through this filter, and while we wait for the coffee to drip, we'll have our conversation. That's usually how things go with us. You say it's a socializing experience. For us, it's like a cultural experience too. For us students, we usually meet up at like coffee shops to discuss our work. We work together. So when we're busy, we find like a quiet coffee shop to just talk about work and just focus on work. But when we actually have free time, we'll just sit at the coffee shop for 2-3 hours, just waiting for the coffee to drip and then just enjoy our chats. Like that's how we roll. It's really fun.
But that's one of the reasons you come to university, is to make friends and to have discussions with people about your university work, but about a whole range of other things as well.
That's what I've really missed about during the pandemic. You remember the lockdown last year, we stayed inside and we couldn't even have we couldn't even meet our friends for a cup of coffee like this. And everything was online, so it was, it's really the little things that we as students and just friends miss a lot. But coming back to campus, I think it's such a beautiful experience. It's very diverse. Our coffee is done.
Great.
This is really hot. We filled it with boiling water, so we have tissue right here.
Right.
You grab your tissue. Don't grab it with your bare hands. Do it like this. You grab it like this, and you take off the top. You put it on the bottom, and you put it on this plate.
Okay. Mission accomplished.
A spoon for you.
Thank you very much.
You see the condensed milk? We have to stir that.
Yep.
And because we ordered café soda, which is iced, we need some ice. PD, can we have 2 cups of ice, please? Please try it.
I will, certainly.
It's pretty strong, so you're going to get coffee drunk.
Okay, well, I'll try and moderate that. It's great. Good flavour. It's slightly sweet, I assume, because of the condensed milk. Okay.
But it's also kind of similar to the experience we have here, because with coffee there are so many different variations, like a lot of milk. We call it baksiu. It means coffee with milk, but more milk for people who like sweeter and like a lighter taste of coffee. And then in the north we have egg coffee. Have you heard of that? In Hanoi.
Well, I think I might have, but I don't think I've had it.
And then in the south we have like coconut coffee, which is like a dessert, a treat for southern people. And I think that kind of reflects our experience here. I have so many friends from like different regions, like the north, the central part, and the south, but we all enjoy good coffee. And I think that's like very valuable because we have the same passion, the same goals, the same interests, but we are different variations of people.
And I think it's really interesting because I think we talk a lot about diversity and the importance of having a diverse workforce, a diverse community. And in some sense, what we end up with is a situation where there are some common values, some core values that we hold fast to, that we believe are universal, but certainly things that are important to us. And as we go into a different context, a different situation, you know, we need to find the right balance between the things that we need to retain, which are really important to us, versus the things that are more flexible and enable us to adapt to different contexts. So I had the opportunity just in the last 6 years, I've spent 5 of those years up until December last year, living and working in the UK. Now, the UK has common cultural elements to Australia, but at the same time it's a different country. And for me to be leading a university in the UK, I needed to find the adaptation of my approach and my style, which was developed in Australia, to put it in a different context, which is in the UK, and for it to be effective there. And I think that's similar to the situation of you and your colleagues. You've in some sense, you've grown up Vietnam language, Vietnam culture. You now have the opportunity to have an English language experience delivered by an Australian institution, and it's a question for you of there will be values that are really important to you to retain in your life and experience, and now you get the opportunity to supplement those with some different experiences here, which hopefully will broaden and enrich your life. Won't be applicable in all circumstances, but enables you to adapt. And if you did have the opportunity to visit Australia in the future, you'd find many things very common with your experience here.
It's also important to me because I just turned 20 recently, and I feel like the more that we get to socialize, and like just with lockdown being off now, and so last year during lockdown it was really hot, and so I cut all of my hair off. And I left those hair to the side, and then I found out about the like the breast cancer program that we have here, and I recently donated a lot of my hair to them. And on like a day after my 20th birthday, I received an email from them saying that it was qualified. So I feel like it's so nice just to share it, just to get it out. Like I've achieved something academically, but I've also achieved something socially, and I think that's really great.
No, I agree, and I think that's, you know, I mean, life is all about purpose, and I think identifying something that gives you purpose, and most purpose is for what we can do for other people, right? And the fact that you've been able to do something which will, you know, be beneficial to someone else, you should be proud of that.
Thank you. Since I'm just the newly elected vice president for the club, I know that a club is just 30, 40 people and it's not much, but I really like to learn from experienced leaders, to see how a young person like me can improve my leadership skills, and just to connect more and more people.
Look, leadership is all about people, right? So, I mean, you know, congratulations on your appointment or election. You know, I mean, clearly, you know, one of the things you might do this year is think about what you want to achieve for the club, and you know, set yourself goals and outcomes that would represent a successful tenure. I would say if you develop those things by yourself, you may achieve the goals, but you won't be as successful a leader as you could be if you use the opportunity to engage with your club members and develop your consultation and team building skills to get them to work with you, to help you identify what are the things that are most important, and then engage them in terms of, okay, if this is what we want to collectively achieve, how are we going to collectively bring this up together? So I suppose my strong advice would be, you know, use the opportunity to emphasise the social opportunity for leadership through consultation, discussion, team forming, team building, and team delivery of activities. I think that'll be the biggest learning you'll get this year, and you'll find that having had this role with the student club, you'll be able to draw on that experience further in your career.
I want to ask you, so if there is a coffee that would describe your leadership style, any coffee, not just Vietnamese coffee, what would it be and why?
Oh, I don't know how to describe coffee in that regard. I mean, the things I'm looking for is probably something which is consistent. It's something that is, I suppose I'd like to say, has integrity. Now, what that means in coffee, in some sense, it is what it says it's going to be, right? So I've ordered something from the menu. I want it to be what it promised to be. Yeah. So they're very key elements for me. One is to be to try and be fair, to be equitable, but also to have integrity, to say what we're going to do and do what we've said, right? Not in some sense overpromise, not lack that sort of truth and honesty. So yes, I'm not sure how I make that into a coffee, but it is that sense of, actually, what it says on the tin is what it is, and that it's a consistent experience. That, if you have the coffee today, you have the coffee tomorrow. It's the coffee that you ordered, it's the coffee that you wanted, and it's the coffee that delivers what you wanted.
I think that's so nice to say, a coffee with integrity.
Yeah.
I think mine would just be Café. It actually represents how I am, or like how I try to be as a leader. Coffee, I really like the bitter taste of coffee and a little bit of milk. It's more like empathetic. Like, I like to work with people. I like to be sincere with people. I like to lead with a lot of sincerity and also gratitude, like just understanding where people want to take this and like learning their directions and telling them about my directions. It's just a lot of patience and a lot of teamwork. And I think that RMIT has helped me a lot with just building solid teamwork.
Ming, this has been a wonderful pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed our coffee. And it's been a great opportunity to get to know you a bit better and your goals and ambitions, and best of luck with the Debating Society. I'm sure they will prosper under your leadership.
Also remember to try a coffee when you visit Hanoi. It's a must. It's really good.
Okay, good. I'll make a point. And it was an egg coffee in Hanoi.
Egg coffee.
I might, we'll take notes. Good. Thank you again.
So
it's
nice
been a great,
to meet you.
Been a great experience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we do a little cheers?